So what's happening here is a lot of dynamics and a lot of double stops, and those double stops are definitely connected to the chords. Walking in though, it's kind of quiet before the storm, playing some spacious, easy lines, sticking right in this direct area for G, and we're coming in with just chord tones built right out of G7, slur to third, and ending on flat 7. To set up for the 4 chord, we're going to grace note is set up to walk down chromatically to the 3rd, and then walk it back up to catch the root of the sharp 4 diminished. And then from there, same feel as in same position as we first walked into this solo with, and we're making it over to a slur of the 3rd that rings into bar 3. Now from that point, to set up for the sub, we're going to anticipate it with a grace note hammer-on from the flat 3 that bounces down a tritone to catch that flat 7. That's the cool note when that jumps in. When we first saw this all the way back in Freddie Free, it just works when you have that dominant chord that just kind of comes out of nowhere. Just hit its flat 7, and then we'll resolve it. Now, we're getting set up to start bringing things up. When the 4 chord comes around in bar 5, we're going to use a double stop minor 3rd bend to put the combination of the 5 and flat 7 out there. And then we're going to use that to walk into the sharp 4 diminished, which, remember, it's made out of minor thirds. So the movement that the interval that we establish here between 3 and flat 5, just move it down minor thirds. And then we toggle between that. So those are all chord tones directly related to the chord. Now, the cool part is, though, when you get that triplet 8th note move at beat 4 in bar 6, it's a half step away from the 3 and the 5 of the 1 chord, so it works out really nice. And then from there, we got the rise coming, and we're gonna play through that more actively than we have in the past too. But when you got some stuff to say, it's gonna work. So we're gonna use that area here, and we're gonna play more of a biting G minor thing against the G7 because it just works. Right there, we're gonna end the line and end it on the E, which is the 5th of this chord. So we can target that. Remember, we talked about if you want to map this stuff out, target your tones and then, get some stuff to connect those dots. Of course, make your stuff sound good. That sets up A minor 7 because it's the 5th. And then from here, we're going to go for more of, a minor blues sound. Even it's a minor chord, but we're going to dirt it up with its flat 5. And walk that up to a resolution. That's the flat 3 of the next chord, the B minor 7. Now, when you do this, there's a little hand shift that you're going to need to do. You're going to catch this with the 3rd finger, shoot over with the 1st finger to get into the position, the 7th position, to best play the rest of what's going on here against B minor 7, which is all triad chord tones. But you're not going to be there for long. You're going to anticipate the B flat minor 7 by coming back here and setting up D to F, which that's still really playing towards B minor. It's the flat 3, but even though it's the flat 5, at the 2nd note, totally works for B minor, but it's also nicely setting up B flat minor 7 because that's the 5th of the chord. So it's kind of half and half. It's half B minor, half B flat minor, but it still works totally for B minor, and that's what you're playing over. So you'll come in on the downbeat of B flat minor with another biting minor 3rd bend. So we're calling upon what we did to get into this second line of 4 bars. Now, getting into the final line is definitely where we are going to hit the climax here. Nothing on the downbeat because that's the final quiet before the storm. Then you're going to come in with some tremolo picking. I suggest angling your pick this way because if you're going to come down straight, you're going to fight the strings too much. So angle the pick big time that way. And, when you see those symbols, as you see in the charts, basically means just attack. Get as many repetitions of alternate picking as you can. So what's happening here is a minor 3rd interval between the 1 and the flat 3, so the ultimate minor 3rd. And that's what's happening here. And also for the first two beats of C minor 7, you push that up the distance of the chord, minor third, and you'll get the same minor third interval with the same chord tones over C minor. But you're only going to take that so far. You're going to come into the downbeat of 3 with a double stop minor third bend against C minor that's comprised of its 5th and flat 7, and then rock it right there with the move that's going to toggle you and get you back down to the flat 3 and flat 7. It sounds real good. If you notice, my pick hand is sitting on the strings. That's how you're going to keep it quiet, especially if you're digging in like I was. Now you're going to rest on the downbeat of bar 11. Let that G7 come in. You know, let this tension like really, you know, it's like this wave of energy that comes, and let it sit for just a second, and then come right back in. You know, with more gritty sounding double stop. You know, this is basically taking a minor blues as approach and just harmonizing it. So it starts off with fourths and ends up being major thirds. It plays really well against the G13. From there, we're going to set up a half-step approach bend to cover that 4 chord. We're going to approach that third, but at the same time, let its 5th ring to get more bite. And that's going to roll us into the 1 chord where we shoot up to the third, and then double up on the timing to hit that unison bend. And then to close things out in bar 12, we have that D augmented chord again. So, you know, nothing really beats coming in with a nice 8th note triplet, laid back feel, and hitting that augmented triad arpeggio. It just always works, always will. As the great Sun Ra once said, space is the place, and that's exactly the place we were in to get through these 3 solos. So keep that in mind when you're trying to put your own improvisations together over these changes. Now, let's shift over to a set of changes called backpedaling, where we're going to learn how to deal with back cycling. So let's get over there right now and let's do it.